At the most basic level, there are two possible results from a brainstorming session. One where the team leaves feeling energized, accomplished, and excited for the next steps, and two where it feels unproductive, repetitive, or negative. There are several elements that might derail a brainstorming session, but here are some of the most typical reasons why a brainstorming session fails. Number 1. Unbalanced conversation. In this case, extroverted personalities and fast thinkers dominate the discourse, leaving little room for contributions from other colleagues. Number 2. Crickets, or awkward silence. This is where participants are unprepared, which results in an hour of agonizing silence, or worse, a meeting that is cut short to put everyone out of their misery. Number 3 is anchoring. Anchoring occurs where participants in a brainstorming session narrow their emphasis to a few initial ideas, therefore restricting the flow of additional innovative and creative ideas. This video will give you different brainstorming techniques to help you avoid these common brainstorming issues and to help you bring your team together to yield creative ideas. Let's get started. Number 1 in the list is brainwriting. In this technique, we split the brainstorming exercise into several rounds. Each person writes down at least 3 ideas related to the topic within 5 minutes in each round. So, 3 ideas each in 5 minutes. Following the first round, everyone exchanges their piece of paper with the person on their right or left, whichever one you prefer, who will then expand on the ideas by adding bullet points or creative strategies. After a few minutes, everyone will pass the piece of paper around the table once again until it has gone around the entire table. Once the ideas have made their way around the circle, the group then decides which ideas should be pursued further. This technique can help you avoid 2 of the most common brainstorming pitfalls as discussed earlier: unbalanced conversation and anchoring. Brainwriting ensures that everyone has the opportunity to contribute, eliminating the bias towards the first idea. Brainstorming technique number 2 is starbursting. Starbursting provides a complete systematic questioning exercise that is helpful in exploring new ideas. In a starburst brainstorming session, we begin with the primary idea and then form a 6-point star around it. Each point of the star represents one question: who, what, when, where, why, and how. For example, if a colleague suggests a new section in your online bookstore, one question that you can ask might be, who is the target customer? Let's assume the answer is students. Now, if you want to target your promotions accurately, your next question might be, what kind of students? The response to this question may be something along the lines of research students who need academic papers, and so on. A systematic questioning approach like this would help focus the marketing strategy. The next potential question could be, when is the right time to launch this new feature? Now, because Starburst focuses on questions rather than answers, it encourages the group to investigate a topic from all angles. Presenting the ideas in this manner relieves the individual who came up with the idea of having to defend it or find out how to implement it on their own. Number 3 in our list is reverse brainstorming. Reverse brainstorming, often known as negative brainstorming, is a technique that flips the traditional brainstorming process on its head. Instead of asking them to come up with brilliant suggestions about making a process or a goal better, you ask them to consider ways to make a process or objective impossible to achieve. You ask your team to let all those pent-up negative thoughts bubble to the surface. These negative ideas provide useful information about what is not working within the product. The easiest way to visualize reverse brainstorming is to compare it with the traditional brainstorming that we typically use. A typical brainstorming question might be, how can we improve customer service? The equivalent reverse brainstorming question would be, how can we make our product so bad that every one of our customers walks away from our product or service? Reverse brainstorming is an excellent and very powerful brainstorming technique. I have created a video that details reverse brainstorming process. You can find the link in this corner or in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. Technique number 4, step ladder. In this technique, a facilitator first introduces the brainstorming topic to the entire group and then asks everyone to leave except for 2 people. The facilitator then invites these 2 individuals to generate ideas within a limited amount of time. After they're done writing the ideas, one more person is permitted to enter the room. This new person is then invited to share their ideas with the first 2 people before discussing the already generated ideas and suggestions. Each person from outside then makes their way back into the room one at a time. They discuss their own ideas first before learning about the ideas of other individuals. Using the step ladder method will take some time. So, if your group is too large, you'll be better off using a less complicated method. Steven Rogelberg, Janet Barnes-Farrell, and Charles Lowe developed Stepladder in 1992 to encourage all members to contribute individually before being influenced by anyone else. This technique helps in unbalanced conversations. It encourages a broader range of ideas, discourages people from hiding inside the group, and protects people from being stepped on or dominated by group's stronger, more louder members. Alright, the last brainstorming technique that I have in stock for you today is role storming. In this technique, the participants pick a well-known figure who is not present in the room. It might be a boss, a fictitious character, or a well-known figure. And then the participants talk about how that person would handle a particular situation or consider a particular proposal. You may ask, for example, how Elon Musk would tackle this issue. Now, it may appear to be a ridiculous question, but putting yourself in the shoes of others might help you and your team tackle the problem in a creative manner. When teammates are embarrassed or afraid to share their innovative ideas, it makes them more inclined to do so if their ideas are associated with someone else's name, such as Elon Musk in this case. In addition, this brainstorming approach eliminates some of the obstacles that typically stifle creative thought, such as budget and time constraints. Brainstorming is an incredibly effective method for generating new ideas, identifying issues, and developing creative solutions. However, it is only as good as the participants and facilitator. No matter how well you prepare, distractions, personality disputes, nervousness, or plain boredom may all come in the way of successful brainstorming. When that happens, you will appreciate having a collection of fantastic brainstorming ideas to help you move the process forward. So there you have it. If you liked the video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave your valuable feedback in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.